like to welcome David D. Simons. He's a mediapreneur who utilizes his office and online skills to promote brands, increase businesses, support causes, and build relationships. His passion and excitement for media have attracted Fortune 500 companies, nonprofits, churches, and entrepreneurs. David obtained a degree in digital media from Sacramento State University and a master's degree in entertainment business from Full Sail University. David is the CEO of Kingdom Social Media, an organization designed to teach business owners and business leaders how to use social media to effectively build their business. David will help us navigate how to monetize your mind through creating digital courses to create new opportunities for you and your career. So please join me in welcoming David Simons.
Hello everyone, my name is David D. Simons, and I'm honored to stand before you today to talk about a topic that's dear to my heart. We're going to talk about how to monetize your mind through online courses. So a little bit about myself. I run a company called Kingdom Social Media, a digital marketing firm that focuses on helping influential leaders and leading organizations to dominate their market online. So with this, you're going to learn a few things today that I hope will help you in your journey of taking that expertise that you have and maximizing that expertise so you can monetize that expertise. So first thing you're going to learn about is the importance of distributing your gift. One of the things that we all have is everyone, at least each person in this room has a gift, right? And we all have a gift that we can utilize and help other people with. So we're going to find out, what is that dominant gift that you have? The next thing we're going to talk about is the top 10 mistakes that people make when distributing those gifts, if we have time to get through all 10. And then you're going to learn the most powerful force in media. After that, we're going to break down how to create once and get paid repeatedly. How many of you would like that, right? Work one time and see the residuals over and over again. And then lastly, we're going to break down the 3 proven strategies to gain attention in your market. So that is the key. So let me tell you just a very brief part of my story, which will help explain why I do this. So I grew up in a very strict household. My parents are from Ghana, West Africa. We're given 4 options: lawyer, doctor, engineer, accountant. That's it. They don't respect anything else. So my junior year of high school, I'm really being pushed into engineering and pushed into this. It's kind of like my whole life is already set. The plan is already set for me, what I'm going to do. And my first year in college, I declared as a mechanical engineering major. It's fine. The second year, I'm like, I hate this. I absolutely hate this. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. And I knew that whatever journey I picked, I would be going down this path. So after a year and a half in, I spoke to my mom. I said, hey, Mom. Actually, I didn't say anything because I had to write the letter and give it to her because she wouldn't give me a word. Let me give me a word. But after she read the letter, I said, hey, Mom, this is my plan. And she was very disappointed because her whole life's goal was for me to be an engineer and my brother to be the doctor. And I disappointed her because I went into this thing. Now I'm already disappointing her by not going into one of the top 4 choices. I'm not going into anything she understands. I'm going into this thing called digital media. And at the time, 2005, 2006, nobody even knows what that word is. And I was utilizing MySpace, if you guys remember MySpace, right, to utilize to help people build their brands, friends of mine in school and college, and helping them grow their presence online. And I was doing that just for fun. But what ended up happening, and then I started to use Facebook, what ended up happening is that social media marketing became a whole industry. It became a whole way of life. It became a whole culture. And I realized, wow, this is an opportunity. But I didn't see that right away. So I took those skill sets and learning, and businesses started asking me for help. I left California, moved to Philadelphia, New Jersey initially, to work for a company called TerraCycle, the world's leader in upcycling and recycling of traditionally non-recyclable items. And we took those, they take chip bags, cookie wrappers, unique stuff like that, turn them into backpacks and binders, and all this kind of cool creative stuff. So while there, I got a chance to learn and create digital marketing campaigns for the world's largest CPG companies like Kraft, Frito-Lay, Huggies, and all the rest. And I took that experience and I built an agency called Kingdom Social Media. But while building an agency, there's some things that I learned along the way, and I learned about having multiple streams of revenue. And one of the biggest pitfalls I learned in my first year is don't have your revenue tied into one major client or a few major clients. My first year as an agency, I had a client that had 60% of our revenue, brought in 60% of our revenue. Management came in, took hey, what are we spending? Why are we spending this on this? Just took our whole contract out instantly. And I learned that I had to have another stream. So we'll get to the breakdown of the course. But before we can even deal with digital marketing, digital media, we have to deal with one thing. Can anybody guess what that is? Can you guess what that is? Well, if you can, I'm going to help you. It's your mindset. The mindset, right? People talk about the thing first before the programming to do the thing, right? And don't crucify me. I just saw The Matrix in about a year and a half ago. I know it's embarrassing. Everyone has seen The Matrix probably multiple times over. I am just fascinated now when I should have been fascinated like 10 years ago. But the point is, in The Matrix, Neo, Keanu Reeves, is always, before he does something, they program him with some software into his mind. And then that software allows him to go and execute to do whatever he's going to do. So if it's to ride bikes, they put the software in and now he's a hardcore bike rider. If he's going to learn Taekwondo, they put the software in for Taekwondo. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to put the software in for digital marketing and digital course creation. So the first mindset is that you have to think abundance, not scarcity, right? In this pandemic, it's terrible. We're all going through what everyone is affected in some level. But the truth is that there is always opportunity in any season, in any circumstance, in any situation. And there is an abundance of opportunity if we open our eyes to see that opportunity. So instead of looking at, as the phrase says, the glass half empty, we can look at it as half full. So maybe we say, oh man, my industry is slammed right now. There's nothing going on, nothing. Well, that means you have less competitors. So you can now dominate and be the biggest voice. Or, we lost a lot of contracts in this. Well, we can now pivot and do something that we've always wanted to do. So there's always a frame of thinking that will change if you change your mindset. Sometimes the situation doesn't change, but if you change the way you think about the situation, things begin to change. So the second mindset is that understand that innovation is born in adversity. It's in the bad times that things are born. The greatest companies a lot of them were built in bad times. You think about Ford was built in a recession in 1920. You think about Airbnb and Uber. They were built in the last recession in 2008. So, and if you look at the story about Airbnb, those guys were sleeping on a mattress because of the recession. They didn't have money. And they said, well, it'd be kind of nice if we could just easily go to someone else's house and just stay there. Boom, the idea. So it came from the recession. So this is the best time to innovate. This is the best time to take what's in you and bring it out of you. One of my favorite quotes is by Eleanor Roosevelt. She said, a stumbling block to the pessimist is a stepping stone to the optimist. So the same thing that one uses as a roadblock, right, in their mind, the same thing someone else uses as a stepping stone. So we have to have that mindset in this economy and in this environment right now more than ever before. Last mindset is this, that the best resource is resourcefulness. It's not about what you don't have or even what you do have. It's more about how do you use what you do have? How do you take what you have, that knowledge, that intellect, that wisdom, whatever you have that you have inside you or around you, how do you take a hold of that? So one of my good friends, Doug Wan, says this principle of eat what's in your fridge. And it's the concept of, and it relates to a lot of us right now if you're quarantining, staying home. You've got food you made, but you don't want to eat the food that you made. You want to go out, you want to order something for delivery. Instead of doing that, the concept of eat what's in your fridge is saying, okay, I've got this rice pilaf, I've got this chicken, I got this salad that's been sitting here for a couple of days. I'm going to just eat that, right? I'm not going to go out and buy something else when I can take what I have. And a lot of people don't take what they have and leverage it to the way that they should. So that is the mindset we have to have. Here's what we need to understand. In this season right now, we have to share what we have. right? So just like that fridge with whatever's left, we have to take what's in us, because there's stuff inside us: knowledge, wisdom, expertise, stories, hardships, overcoming trials, all these things that sometimes we don't really put a value on it, and we gloss over it. That is the thing that you should be leveraging. That is the thing that you should be using to help other people. So this is what I advise people to do, is to take that knowledge, take that wisdom, and turn it into a digital asset. Well, you may be wondering what a digital asset is. I'm going to break that down a little further in a moment here. But here's the first step to creating a digital asset. And it's going to stun you because it's not the step that most people would think. Most people think a digital asset is the first step to creating a digital asset. They might say, David, I need to know my target market. I need to do market research. I need to do those are all good things. As a marketer, those are all important things. But that's actually not the first step. The first step is simple, but not easy. You just need to believe. You just need to believe. A majority of people don't believe in their own value. They don't believe in their own worth. They don't believe in what they have to bring to the world. And this is the truth, that you are an expert. Yes, you watching this right now, you're an expert. You have something in you that can benefit the world. You have something in it that can benefit a community. Maybe it's not the entire world. Maybe it's 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000, 1 million. Whatever that is, there's somebody that can benefit from your expertise and your knowledge right now with where you're at, and the knowledge that you have now. And they're willing. The other part is that they're willing to pay for it. Because this is the thing you have to understand. To be an expert, you just need to know 10% more than your audience. This comes from the John Maxwell Foundation. Most people don't want to research that 10%. I'm not advocating you only know 10%. I'm advocating you know the most as much as possible. But this is the thing that stops people. Oh, David, I don't know everything about basket weaving. I don't know everything about cooking. I can't be an expert. I can't sell something about this because I don't know everything there is to know. And that's the biggest fallacy. You need to know more than your audience, because your audience is not going to take the time to go and research that extra 10%, 20%, 30%. I'm going to use an example for myself, right? I had a call recently with a lady, I'm getting into real estate and real estate investing. And I'm a novice. I've been focused all on marketing, digital marketing. So it's something I don't really know much about. But I said to her, I don't want to go through and research and do all the stuff that you did. Give me all the packages you have so I can just shortcut my success. I don't have time. Most people don't have time to learn all these things that someone else has taken the time to gain. So think about this. What took someone 40 years in a course, you could get it in 4 hours. 40 years of knowledge, 4 hours. Maybe you'd have more than 4 hours, but you get the picture. But the point is that we have to take that knowledge and now monetize that knowledge. So most people don't believe in their own value, and this is the biggest thing that holds people back. This is the thing that destroys more courses than anything. It's not the knowledge of how to click a button, how to use a software, how to record with the video camera. That stuff is not really what holds people back. This is what holds people back. Because here's what people need to understand. This is the sad truth. And this is the ouch moment. So if you're watching this right now, you can say ouch to yourself. There are people making more money than you with less knowledge than you. I'm going to say that again. There are people making more money than you with less knowledge than you. They took the little piece that they had and they marketed the heck out of that little piece. They took what they know about a certain subject or topic or industry, and they've been able to monetize. I'm gonna use an example. Dr. Oz. Is Dr. Oz the best doctor in the world? Most physicians will tell you no. Some of the things he says is inaccurate. Some of the things he says are really, really bad. But the point is, Dr. Oz is still the best marketed doctor on earth. There's nobody else that markets themselves as a doctor more than Dr. Oz does, in my opinion. So that is something we have to understand. It's not about just how much you know. It's believing. He obviously believes in the bit that he knows, and he's marketing that. Okay? So you having knowledge is not the issue. What's holding you back is not knowledge. All of us have knowledge. All of us have worth. All of us have value. This is the key. You got to know your worth, then add some tax to it, right? Add something else onto that. Are people willing to pay what you pay for what you have? A nickname that I go by, a lot of my students call me as this, is the accoucheur. You may be wondering what an accoucheur is. You probably haven't heard that term or a term like that because it's a French word. And the word means a male midwife, right? Yeah, it's pretty unique. So that's what I am, in a sense, right? I'm not helping you birth a baby, physical baby, but I'm helping you birth a digital baby, a vision, a dream, a course, and maybe even I've helped people with books too. But the thing is, we help you to take what's in you and let it come out of you because it's in there. And sometimes you need that accoucheur, you need that push, you need somebody to help you to get that baby out, to get that vision out. And that's what we specialize in. Case in point, a client we work with named Dr. Curry. Dr. Curry came, she's a trauma psychologist, right? So she deals with psychology and the minds of people, but yet she had to position, it was tough for her to get this whole course idea out of her, right? And she's in this whole space. So she's been grateful for the experience we were able to take and help her to produce. Now, what's interesting about her is that her course now, what she went from, she doesn't know anything about technology, didn't know how this whole thing was going to work. Her course is up and running, and she actually has taken that course and taught it to the Obama Foundation. So she went from no idea of how to do this, not sure how this is going to work, to teaching a really large nonprofit organization. So the key here is that you just need to believe. And sometimes you need someone else to believe in you and help you. Sometimes you need the belief of another when you don't believe in yourself, right? So the second component, second example is a lady named Keisha. Keisha, we helped her to build a course from, she had an idea to help people. She was always teaching young people about, graphic design and in video and all these different programs, but she never really had a place or a hub. And she never thought it was, even though this is interesting, think about this. She's a techie. She knows the tech stuff, but she didn't have that course. Why? Because it takes more than yourself to push that. You need someone to push you, to help you through sometimes when it's something that big or something that monstrous inside you. So she started off with a course, but we ended up helping her to build an academy. It went beyond what she could imagine. She has multiple pieces into her whole academy, and she has instructors and a whole team now. So it's become a lifestyle and a revenue model for her. So what are digital assets? Now back to that. So digital assets include but are not exclusive to digital documents, audible content, motion picture, digital data, and various other forms. It could obviously be courses. It could be audio, video, personal computer content. These are all things that people are consuming on a regular basis. Now, one of the quotes that I love, and I believe we should all commit to memory, is by the famous Warren Buffett. He says, "If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die." That's another ouch moment. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Ouch. I had a reality of this. So we'll talk about that in a second. But here's the truth. Most people are living to just pay bills and die. That's not what we're supposed to be here for. It's not, that's a part. We have responsibilities, we have things we need to take care of, but we shouldn't be just living to pay bills and die. There's more to our lives. So I believe that bills shouldn't decide what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, but for a lot of us, that's the case. That's the sad case. And my mission and aim is to help take what fulfills someone and to take that and produce a lifestyle so they can enjoy life doing something that fulfills them. Now, there's a thing we have to break down when it comes to digital assets. There's correlated assets and non-correlated assets. Correlated assets are tied to the economy. So when the economy is doing bad, like it is now, there are certain things that don't do as well. I can imagine most of you aren't buying Persian rugs right now for your living room, right? It's not a necessity. It's a luxury item. It's nice, but it's not important. Most people are not, because of social distancing too, they're probably not going to get massages. They're not doing some of these things. They've cut out a lot of these things. Why? Because those things are correlated to the economy. When the economy is bad, these things start to decline. What we also have to understand is non-correlated assets. This happens regardless of how the economy is good or bad, you need it. So that's your utilities. That's your Wi-Fi. We all need this. That's how we're watching this right now, right? You're able to watch this through Wi-Fi. You can't cut that off, right? These are the things that are essential for us to utilize them, and we don't usually do without them. So my goal is to create easy money for you. I'm going to teach you some concepts that are going to help you with course creation that will, I believe, revolutionize the way you think about creating money online. So a lot of people work way too hard instead of allowing systems to work hard for them. When you have systems that work hard for you, you can take more of a break. You can relax. You can enjoy yourself. So I want to break some stats down for you that I think are really important. 60% of our entire workforce is going to be solopreneur companies with one entrepreneur by 2030. If we don't see, worldwide, not since not the US, if we don't see that now, you should see that. You're definitely going to see that as we continue in this pandemic, because it's not over. And the truth is that this stat was before the pandemic. So I can only imagine what is going to happen now. It's probably going to be 2025, right? So we are going to go into this, what I believe called this entrepreneur economy, where you have to develop yourself as an entrepreneur. And you have to, it doesn't matter if you have a job, if you have a business, you have to be an entrepreneur. And it's just not optional. I just think that everyone has to think like an entrepreneur today. So here's the two choices. You can, one, be affected by the change, or two, like Gandhi said, you can be the change. I would rather be the change. So here's the change that's coming, and it's already here. Automation could eliminate 73 million jobs by 2030. This is a big reason why solopreneurship will be the popular trend. Automation is killing jobs. It's just destroying them all. You can see China, 236 million, India, 120 million, the United States, 73 million jobs, right, could be eliminated. So we have to think strategically, and we have to allow ourselves to change, and not be changed by change. Hope that made sense to you, right? So we don't want to allow the change to affect us. We want to create change for ourselves. So today's human worker needs to learn how to create passive income. It's not an option anymore. I think this pandemic has proven that. It's mandatory. We have to have it. So we are moving from a society of hard work labor, and we're moving more towards passive income through digital assets, creating digital opportunities for ourselves. So here's another case study of a lady. So I'm showing an example she's an HR professional. Her name is Tony Howard, and she works for an organization in HR, and she recognized, hey, I need to have another stream. I can't, if something goes haywire here in the job, I need to be protected. So we helped her to put together a program it's called How to Become an Effective and Influential Manager. So she teaches people how to become good managers, and that's been another stream for her. That's been another opportunity for her. And that brings me the most joy, because now we see that, hey, she's able to build something that's not tied to where she's at, and no matter what happens there, she has other means and other ways. And that's what I believe in, creating your own change, right? She created this well before the pandemic came. So now this has allowed her to make more revenue on the side. So I believe that you've got to have systems like this. And we teach our students how to leverage these systems. We teach them how to create this passive income. And one of the things you want to leverage is the power of automation, leveraging Facebook ads and automated webinars and things of that nature. But I don't want to get too techie on you right just yet, okay? So this is the truth. If you're in Tony's case, you have a job, you should have digital assets. If you're an entrepreneur, you should have digital assets. It doesn't matter what position you're in, each person in each role needs to have digital assets that they can depend on. So what I had to learn is that I created this whole digital asset process. I told you about 60%, a client that I lost 60% of the revenue in the beginning of the first year. Another story I didn't tell you about, which I'm going to tell you about now, is why did I create this whole program and way of thinking to put courses out there? Well, because of pain. And that same principle, mindset number 2, innovation is born out of adversity. I created it from pain. Tony Robbins says this, he says, people are motivated by 2 things, inspiration or desperation. Mine was definitely desperation. I had at the end of October 2016, I had $16,000 owed to me in unpaid invoices from clients. And I'm still beginning in business. That was critical for me I needed that revenue. I didn't have access to capital and things like that. My revenue was coming from the clients. So I had to find a way to get that revenue, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. And obviously, that $16,000 doesn't mean that the bill stopped, right? So I got team members, I got things to take care of, people I got to take care of, and it was a really tough time. To be honest, it was a really tough time. And then I said, you know what? What can I do? What's in my hand? What's in my house? What's in my mind? And this is where I started to go into the process of monetizing my mind. I said, what do I have that I could offer of value to people with what I have now, without going to go try to figure out something and learn something? And then I decided to create this digital asset out of necessity, because I had no other option. And from that, within this time period of 2 months, I created a course that helped business people. And within 2 months, and it may not seem much to you, it was much to me, $10,000 in 2 months from this idea I had of creating this course. And I didn't know what I'd created a course before, but I'd never created a course with this kind of intention and helping people in this specific way. So in 2 months, I had made $10,000 selling these courses, and I didn't sell many courses. Each course was about $500, right? So I know how you're listening to that. How would you like to make $10,000 in 2 months in additional income, right? From something you did one time, right? I think we'd all say, hey, I'd like that. Or if it's not even 10, how about 5? Even half of that. So the majority of people would be glad to have that extra income on the side. So here's the interesting part. Like I said, I didn't even know what I was doing at that point. So you can imagine what I'm doing now and how many people I help people now, knowing and being intentional and purposeful in this process than I was. So this is the truth. There are 1,700 new millionaires created every day, and the majority of them are leveraging digital assets to get there. So this is a part of the new millionaire. The old millionaires leveraged other different things and stocks, investments, and all this kind of stuff. But the new millionaires are going digital. Bitcoin, courses, digital real estate. I'm telling you, there's all kinds of opportunities, sales funnels, marketing. These are ways that you can tap in to this new economy, this new world we live in. So it's the future of creating wealth, and I believe it's the present of creating wealth. And if you want to tap into this opportunity, keep listening. I got some things I'll share with you. So what is the benefit of a digital asset? First thing is that it's scalable, right? It can go from here to Hong Kong to wherever you want. And you can have as many people in your course. I've got thousands not combined with all my students, myself, and we have thousands of people that we're able to serve, right, from all over the world. Now, when you think about that, there's no limitation, there's no cap. You don't have as a business owner, if you have inventory, you got a certain amount of inventory, you sell the inventory, it's gone. And you got to go buy it, you don't have to deal with the inventory. You're not affected by governments, right? Obviously, you have to pay your taxes. That part, I'm not advocating you don't do that. Make sure you take care of your taxes. And nobody can take this away from you. It's your knowledge. You gained it. You went to school for it, or you developed it, or you suffered for it. Whatever you did to get that information, you got it. Now, you're also not limited by geography, as I shared. You don't have to worry about geolocation and all that stuff. You can also make what my favorite term is, you can also make Swiss money. Like, hey, what's Swiss money? Sales while I sleep soundly, right? So that's the best kind of money to make, right? You're just asleep. I'll never forget that moment when I was asleep and my first course was asleep. I woke up in the morning, it was ding, my account, PayPal hit my account. And it was just a surreal moment, something I created and I wasn't even thinking about, and it's happening over here. It's a great feeling. So I want everyone to have that experience. So here, let's break down some things in this industry that we need to make clear and give a good macro view of this whole process. So $151 billion is the amount done in publishing each year. So you break that down, ebooks, blogs, all these different things, right? It tops entertainment and other categories. Now, when economies are doing bad, people need to learn even more. When economies are doing well, people need to learn. So good or bad, people need to learn in either economy. So what do you think is happening now? People are on a thirst for learning. This is why you're watching this today. You're learning. You're coming to learn and level yourself up. So if you know and understand that, then you know that somebody would want to benefit from your knowledge as well. So as I shared earlier, people would rather pay to learn for what you've gained in 5, 10, 15 years than to have to go figure it out themselves, right? I know I would. So I don't want to have to waste the time. Time is the most precious asset we have on this earth. So this is what creating digital assets allows you to do. It allows you to create one time and reap the rewards repeatedly. That is the beautiful thing about it. So now here's a projection from the e-learning category that we should understand. The e-learning market worldwide, and again, this stat is before the current state that we're in now. So I can only imagine what it's going to be. So worldwide, it's forecasted to do $243 billion by 2022. $243 billion. E-learning. That's just e-learning. You can imagine with all the schools and all the, oh man, just this number is probably upwards of 300 to 400 if I were to estimate that. But now, this is another piece that we have to understand. In 2016, the self-paced e-learning market was only at 46.67 billion. So that's 5 times the growth in less than 5-6 years. So you can only imagine where we're going. So I just want people to understand the fact that you and I have an opportunity to serve an audience that's thirsty for learning. So you need to sell, and when you start your first course, this is what you need to do. I'm gonna give you the breakdown of the blueprint here, and then we're gonna wrap up. So you need to sell to the high end. $500, well, I like to use sevens, so $497 and above, right? For your first course. And then you can start to sell lower ticket after that. Why you need to price to the high, this is what I've learned. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. When people pay more for a course, they tend to use it better. I've sold courses that are cheaper, and what happens is, this is the truth. When you don't pay or you pay minimal, you don't pay attention. So you pay attention. You invest, you're invested, right? So that is the key, I think, to starting your first course. You need to have a price point that is a good price point. And then you need to, now we dive into the research and all that. You need to research your target market. You need to find out who is this specific niche. And you don't want to be so broad. You want to be very, very, very focused, right? So for example, if I'm selling LinkedIn marketing, hey, here's my course on LinkedIn marketing. That's not niched enough. I could do LinkedIn marketing for lawyers. That's better, right? Now I got a built-in niche that I'm focused on, right? If I went social media marketing for lawyers, that's still kind of broad. I need to narrow it in to specific platform, specific audience. So that's how you want to think of how you can create and craft courses for your audience. The second step is, this is the step that I did, not by knowing what I was doing. I did this on accident because I had to. I pre-sold the product. So when I told you the example that I made 10,000 in 2 months, I did 6,000 of that in pre-sale, meaning I had the course created. I didn't even have anything created. Why? I needed the money to create the course. So here's the truth. But that worked well, and it was an eye-opener for me, is that I've ever since then, I've never created a course without selling it first before making it. Most people create courses and then try to sell it. You need to sell courses and then try to then make it. Why? Because the best vote is with your wallet or your purse, right? You saying, I believe in that. I would like to get that. And they might wait 10 days, 20 days, 30. Some people wait a couple months. But that's the beauty. If you think about it, and I don't have time to break it down, but think about the updates on our iPhones and Android phones. Those phones, they say, hey, here's an update, and they have all kinds of bugs in it. They're pre-selling you. They put all this, and then you test it out, and you're like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. They don't have the perfect product just yet. You put what you have, and then you can perfect later. So that is the thing. The next step is you launch the product. The third step is to launch the product. And when you do a launch, you want to do it very effectively. I recommend utilizing webinars and trainings as a free way to market the course. So then you want to build automated systems. right, that market this. Once you've got a proven tight system, then you build automation systems like I shared with Tony's example, where there are automated webinars that are going to ads, and people can watch while you're not there, and then they can buy your course, and watch your training, and then buy your course. This is the way you can automate in this current environment, and any environment, really, like I said. So this is an example. If you see on the slide, there's a automation sequence. We use a webinar, a landing page system, and people can put their name and their information in, and they can schedule to watch the training at a time that they choose, or they can schedule to watch the training right away in an instant replay. So people can get that information whenever they want it, and you're not there. That's the beautiful thing. So what do all the greatest companies usually start out? How do they build? You think about Gillette. People don't know that Gillette started without giving free razors. That's how they started their company. At AOL, you remember those annoying AOL discs we all used to get in the mail? They send you 500 hours, 200 hours, 50 hours. That was the concept of free. So when you're marketing initially, the concept of free is the best way to go. Google doesn't, for the majority of their products, they don't charge. HubSpot, they give away free information for you to use for your business. Facebook, no charge to use it. Obviously, they use your data. And Spotify, same thing. They give you free music with some ads. So the point is, the power of free is what we should be leveraging in our initial launch process. And that's what I believe in. Now, here are the last steps that I wanted to talk about, some of the mistakes that people make. The first step is not doing your research. People skip that, like, oh, I know this is what the market wants. Well, you don't know that. You don't ever depend on what you think. You depend on what the market thinks as viable. The second step is not solving a problem that adds value, right? It's got to add value. There are people looking to learn how to do basket weaving. That adds value. There are people looking for all kinds of unique stuff, right? But there are some times where people pick courses where how to clean your room, right? Okay, that's cool. Is that adding tremendous value? Maybe, depending on how you position it. But my point is, you need to make sure there's a big value add to that person. Does it add to their finance? Does it add to their knowledge or wisdom? Does it add to does it better their lives? That's how you can know if it adds value. The other thing is, most people don't have a system. They just do this and they put it out there and there's no system. They just put the course and there's no system. You have to systemize this to make this truly work and be beneficial. And then the last step is you don't have someone to guide you. As I shared earlier, people do better when they have accountability. And that's what I am. I'm a coach, I'm an accoucheur. I help people to take what's inside them and bring it out of them. So there's some testimonials and things that you can check out later. I won't put that on, but I would love for you to answer this question for yourself. You can raise your digital hands. You can scream out loud as you're watching this, but I want you to just say this to yourself. If you know that you have some experiences, some knowledge, some wisdom, some processes, some systems, some things or courses and ideas that you have inside you that are not out there yet, that are still in your womb, figuratively for the men, but you know what I mean. So if you have some of those things that are inside of you that you haven't brought out of you, I want you to be honest and say that you have. You still have stuff inside you that needs to be released. And the truth is, we all do. We all have stuff inside us that we're sitting on. And I'm going to challenge you to take what's inside of you and bring it out of you, because there are people who are depending on your gift. There are people that are not going to be able to receive from a big name speaker, a big name coach, a big name financial expert, a big name. They want your approach. They want your style. They want your personality. And when you understand that there's a group of people that you're supposed to serve that are tied to your life. And if you don't do what you're supposed to do, believe it or not, that's selfish, because you're not helping the people that need you. And so I'm encouraging and I'm challenging you to consider developing a course. Whether you decide to work with us, whether you decide to work with anyone else, just do it. You need to take what's inside you. So lastly, if you'd like to take advantage of that opportunity, we have a link there that you can go to bit.ly/course launch success, schedule a free 45-minute session so we can analyze where you are and help you get a course breakthrough.
So my question is, if you touched on the fact of research and you talked about your voice and what have you, So how do you guide people who are, yes, I have this course in me, yes, I have something that I feel as though I have value, but there are a lot of people that are speaking about the same topic, so I'll just be one other voice, therefore mine won't matter. How do you coach people into having the confidence within themselves to be able to say, you can be part of the conversation, you don't have to worry about so much as the competition on what they're doing, is how do you develop what you have and your uniqueness and how you can share that? How do you guide your
Great question. So the way I guide it is the fact that I don't see competition. Honestly, I know this is a contrarian thought, but it's like this. There are people that are going to like McDonald's and they're going to like Burger King, and that's why they can sit by each other, right next to each other, right? Because there are people going to like what they like. There are people, it doesn't matter how much, if a person said, hey, and they're very expensive, let's just say a Tony Robbins or a Les Brown or somebody that's these kind of caliber of speakers, doesn't matter if they made the tickets free, they're saying, I just don't like that person's style, I'm not going, right? So it's the understanding of your unique value is you. And when you understand that you have a value to add, that there are going to be people that are for you, or that you're there, as one of my mentors says, you're their Mr. Miyagi, or you're their coach, you're their trainer. It's going to draw. So you just need to put yourself out there, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And the people that are supposed to draw to you, they're going to naturally be drawn and attracted to you. And that's the truth. There are people that are going to just not buy certain things, not because of skill level, not because of what the value is. They're just not going to resonate. And when you understand that, it makes everything work.
So part two to that question is, so if somebody is starting this new and they want to go down this path, what is your advice? Is your advice or their end goal of do they think volume, or do they think content? Do they go in with grand ambition to say, this is going to be a national program and I'm every state, every human, that's my goal? Great. Or this is going to be a local program that I'm going to sell to a local market and I can address a local market and the people that are in my circle. What do you advise somebody, or is it something in between?
Great question. So what I advise for people to look at for their first course, or if they're building a course out, is to look at transformation. What is the transformation that you can provide to that one person that you're serving? If you can do a transformation in someone's life, that's going to spread. And so you focus on transforming the people that you do have, the 5, the 10, then that turns into 20 and the 30 and the hundreds, because the transformation is what sells. When I know, and this is what happens for our students, when they know that, hey, I made this money and I hadn't created the course yet and people still bought it, and now I have people that I'm responsible to serve, it's a great feeling. They go and tell other people. So, and then you obviously take that, reinvest it back, and market yourself to get better. So the key focus that I would say is, don't even focus local, regional, focus on your customer and transforming their lives through your content. So the content is the key to transformation. Good question. Any other questions? Thank you guys for having me. I'd like to thank Pam. I'd like to thank the whole Northeast Chamber. And I'd like to thank you for all listening and pouring into yourselves. I believe in the Women in Business Conference. It's important. I was raised by strong women, entrepreneurs that taught me all that I shared with you today. I have gained because of the power of the women in my life. So I encourage you to take notes of all the sessions that you're going to receive through this and benefit from it, because it's value. Tremendous. Thank you.
I would like to take a moment to thank our generous sponsors. Through their support, we are able to bring you quality programming and a virtual networking experience. I'd like to thank our corporate sponsors, Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, Parks Casino, TD Bank, Marshall's Distribution Center, Philadelphia. I'd like to thank our executive sponsors, Chorus Services, Holy Family University, Inverse Paradox, Jefferson Health Northeast, Nazareth Hospital,
Northeast Family YMCA, PECO, Philadelphia Gas Works, Philadelphia Industrial Development Corporation, Rivers Casino, St. Basil Academy, and Witham Smith and Brown. I'd also like to thank our media sponsor, Northeast Times, our production sponsor, Viral Ideas Marketing, and our session sponsors, Fast Signs of Northeast Philadelphia. Please take a moment to reach out to our sponsors and share your positive experience as a subscriber of the 2020 Women in Business Conference. Thank you very much for subscribing, and we hope you enjoy our programming.